Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
One. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so excited to have you join us today. I've done 650 shows. This is my first show on the weapons side, which I love movies like that, war movies, or military stuff. So I'm excited to learn more. So this is not only for you guys, but it's for me. Now, we built this podcast with the purpose, servant's heart, how you can work that in your work and your life, and how you can use that to make a difference and change in people's worlds. Also, too, our guests are going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you, especially in a subject like weaponry and armory and things like that, which are part of the world. If done right, I think they're an asset to the world. Here's your homework today, audience. Think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you'll create today. Don't wait. Do it today, right after this show. I want to thank my sponsor, Pantheon Alliance. Join a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders who are creating a world-changing thought leader platform to do that impact and make a change in the world. For more information on Pantheon, just reach out to me and I'll get you all that information. With that being said, like I said, we're going to talk about armory weapons. My guest has been doing this for many years, and he's actually worked with the U.S.Military. So he's done some big things, but he's going to talk about the servant's heart part of this, which I think is lacking a lot, because you go out and see, oh my gosh, there was a shooting in a school or this or that, and guns in the armory, the worst thing in the world. We're going to kind of balance that today. So let's welcome to the show, Tom. Welcome. Go ahead, say something. I know you got a great thing to say.
Well, thank you very much. It's I saw this coming up on the calendar, so I listened to a lot of podcasts. I'd not heard of your. I really like your podcast. I enjoyed. I listened to quite a few of them. I had 3.5, almost 4 hours of windshield time yesterday, and I found myself just ticking through them. So no, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Let's have a great conversation.
Well, let's jump into it, because like I said, audience, I'm going to tell you, it's my first 650 shows, my first weapons armory talk.
Yeah, let me explain very quickly just what it is I do that we do. Secura Tactical is a global leader in military weapons storage, armory design services. We're the primary supplier to the U.S. military. We build all the armories for the SEAL team, Special Forces, the Dev group, all the tactical kind of units. We also do a lot of work with the Marine Corps. And our system really is the go-to system. What I designed and patented in 2008 completely changed the way the U.S. military stores and organizes guns, and really launched this company. In 2015, we went into consumer products, and we're on a mission right now to change the way America stores and organizes guns and gear. We want to see that every single gun in America is properly locked by our definition of proper lock and proper storage. And we come at it from, we're coming at this consumer side with 22 years of experience working with the military, and that makes us very unique. We're a very disruptive force into an old dinosaur industry. And we're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing. And, it's, as I always tell, for Secura, we are the band of misfits out to change the world. So that's how I look. I'm a misfit. I don't fit into many profiles. I never have. And It used to bother me. And now I just embrace it. And so that's what we do. We're the redheaded stepchild that's kicking everybody's butt.
And audience, that's a lesson learned. What he just said, he embraced his uniqueness, difference. Yeah. You need to do that too. I do that as well. If things happen with me that's unique. Guns are like, to me, the internet. It's great, but the internet's got the black, I forget what they call it, black market of the internet. Everything has good and bad. So what I'm hearing from you, you take this arms, weapons that could be dangerous, but make it more safer for us as consumers to hold it.
I mean, the bulk of what we're doing is for American gun owners to improve their safety, security, and defensive capability. And the gun safe industry has never changed in the 65, 75 years. Firearms have changed, why people own them have changed, tactics have changed, the amount of gear associated with firearms is growing exponentially. And the gun safe industry has these big old dinosaur boxes, and it just doesn't work. So we're bringing our military system, our patented technology, and our whole mindset into the consumer market. And this, we build to specifications. We build to very strict security requirements in the military. In the consumer space, there are none. Every gun safe company builds to a different standard. They also lock up guns in basements. Our system is designed to lock up guns throughout your home because it's much safer, it's much more secure. The big argument that we see is, yeah, I got my guns in a safe, but I keep the one, in my bedside table in case of emergency. Well, that gun's got to be locked too. And we've done a lot of research, fast access. We have HSFA locking, which is high stress, fast access locking solutions. So if you're actually in a true home invasion and you're in panic mode, we have a locking system that you can actually use, because in a high stress fight or flight situation, you lose fine motor skills, you lose vision, you lose cognitive ability. So we design systems that take that into account. We design systems that take up why do you own the gun? We just bring a lot of methodology into it, but we can demonstrate that a properly secured, when I say properly secured, I mean locked in a metal box out of sight. Nobody should see that you have a gun. These kids don't even need to know. We can demonstrate that a properly locked, secured firearm is faster to access than a hidden gun that's unsecured. We can demonstrate that very easily. So that's kind of our mission. And then the other part we can talk about, it's more in fitting with your podcast, is, the Servants podcast. And that really is what Secura's all about. The number one core value for us is improve the lives of others. And that goes back to my personal code of conduct. I live by a very, very simple code. I kind of developed when I was in my 30s. I was a professional musician out of high school. I played in heavy metal bands for many years. Never went to college, and I developed really bad tendonitis and killed my career when things were going. It was actually going very well, but it forced me into other things. So I took another path, and Secura, it's my Denny's job. I didn't set off to do here. I just ended up here. But I was very cynical. Working in the music industry, you can't trust anybody. I lived in Hollywood for many years. You can't trust anybody. You leave something unattended, it gets stolen. And I became very cynical and just didn't trust people. And it took me a while. I started my first business, a little sales company, and started slowly gaining back trust in people. And I came up with this very simple rule. Everybody I interact with at a granular level, if I interact with them, I want them to benefit in some way. That's how we run Secura. And when I say at a granular level, it's like a lot of people say, oh yeah, you want to help other people out. Yes, but what I really want to do is, trying to get an example. Okay, I was at an airport. I think it was Reno. It was like 6 a.m. in the morning. I was flying home. This was recently. I'm walking through the airport, and there's a Starbucks. It's just opening up. There's nobody there. It's like the airport's pretty dead. I come walking up, and there's a girl standing at the counter. She did not look happy at all. She's just like, you tell she's just like early morning. She want to be there. So I walk up. I said, how you doing today? She goes, like that. I said, I'd like a tall, dark roast with some heavy cream. And she goes, starts making it. And I just looked at her. I thought for a moment, I go, and she turns around, and I said, it must be pretty cool. And then she looks at me like a little puzzled. I said, you're in a really cool position because you make everybody's first cup of really good coffee. And this could be the best day of my life. I have no idea, but you're starting the day for so many people. That's got to make you feel good. And she smiled, and she goes, I guess so. And I walked away. I left her a really nice tip. I said, you have a great day. And I walked away, and she had this big smile. that's kind of the way I like to do things, is just, it's the simple little things that, I held a door for, there's a girl, and she got snippy with me. And I held the door. She said, "You don't need to hold the door." I said, "I'm sorry. Whether you're a woman or a man, I was going to hold the door. I just wanted to do something nice for the person behind me. And I hope that maybe you'll pass it along and you'll do the same thing." She's like, "Okay." And it changed it, but just those little things, just taking a moment to pause and think, what does this person need to hear? Just put a smile on their face. Or in what we do, improve the lives of others. In the military, we took armories were a mess, and it was causing a lot of problems and safety issues. And we came in as a very much outside organization, brought in to solve a problem, and we completely turned the way the military thinks about gun storage, but weapon storage, armory design. We completely turned them upside down. And the result is our war fighters are in a much better position to defend themselves, to protect themselves. And, we hang our hat on that. That's what we're trying to do in the consumer space. But it's about, if we all focus on making the world a better place, the world might be a better place.
Yeah. And Secura does another thing that I'm hearing from you. As me as a gun owner, I might buy this other product, but it's not really keeping me safe. My responsibility is to make it safe. It sounds like you message that out there. Hey, make your weapons safe. Here's our product. Or if you do, here's what you do. Talk about that, how you help educate people.
Well, again, we position Secura on the performance side of the industry. And what I mean by that is, gun safe industry is a passive industry. It's passive product. People go out to the range, they go shoot, they go hunt, they go shooting sporting clays, whatever they're doing with their firearms. Then they come home, they clean them, and the last thing you do is you go and throw it in the safe and you're done with it. Well, we view firearm storage as it's an active part of your gun ownership. So we want people to train with their safes. If you're storing guns and part of your reason for owning a gun is home defense, we have a whole program of decentralized storage and training with your safe, where every time you go into a closet, you got your gun in there, it's locked safely. Do the combination. Like if you got one next to your bed, do your combination every night in the dark before you go to bed. Build up the muscle memory so you are extremely fast with your access. And then, again, for people who conceal carry, you practice your draw, you practice your mechanics, dry fire drills all the time, so that in a stressful situation, the mechanics are there, and now you're free to think about the situation and being safe. We work with firearms instructors. We work with training centers. We don't sell through stores and dealers. We sell through Gunsight Academy, which is America's largest training center. Summit Point Training Center, which is America's second largest training center. We're setting up with Palmetto State Armory. They're a big gun storage, but they have a lot of training, handgun training. So we're positioning Secura really on the training side, because again, a firearm is of no value if you're not trained on how to use it and you don't practice. And I tell everybody that if you're going to own firearms, and it is not a decision to be taken lightly. When you make that decision, get the classes, do the practice, recurring training. I'm fairly new. I got into firearms in 2010. At that time, we were already the primary supplier. We were growing like crazy. We were the pros from Dover in the military space. We were looking at the consumer space and said, I can't go into this space unless I have to be authentic. So I started taking training classes. I've got friends that hunt. I started hunting. I found I really liked it. And we have the Secura Ranch. It's a 500-acre hunting ranch that's about 45 minutes from here. It's beautiful, wooded, just magnificent country. We're working with the state right now. We are putting it into a development trust with the state, so the land will never be developed. And basically, we're just donating that to, we still own the land, but we're opening it up. Cub Scouts can come in, the different groups can come in, because it is spectacular. That's just another piece of kind of what we do, but we are a performance product, and we want people, when they look at Secura, yes, it's a gun safe, but it's part of a program that you should adopt if you're going to own firearms.
Yeah. And I learned something I didn't even think about, practicing your combination every night. That's so logical, the muscle memory. And
well, so I sat there with a metronome building muscle memory. I had to play 6-8 hours a day of practice, because that's how you become proficient. It's no different.
Yep. Well, and the problem with this industry is a lot of people are coming in as amateurs, and it's dangerous. I mean, if I go buy a guitar and try to learn to play guitar and I still suck, I could not possibly kill someone. Well, I could, but the chances are minimal. But with a gun or weapon, there's got to be a lot more. I like that you said, hey, you paraphrase, you do your due diligence before you do that.
I mean, you can demonstrate, it doesn't take a lot of data research, that people with firearms who take the time to get the training, do the practice, and are proficient, makes everyone around them safer. They really do. And the gun isn't the scary thing. I mean, there's evil in the world. There are bad people in the world, and there always will be evil in the world. And a firearm allows people to give them, I mean, again, as long as you train, and you got to be diligent. This is a big change in your life. It isn't just, I want to buy a gun and have it in the shelf because I think it's cool. I think that's no. Yeah. If you're going to make a decision to put yourself in a position to use deadly force, you've got to really, really, spend some time to think about it, and then commit to a change in your lifestyle. Most people enjoy it. Most people I talk to are the first time going, they're joining a club. All of a sudden they're realizing they're out shooting. I've got a friend who's a programmer, very, very anti-gun person, and did a lot of work for us. Fascinated. And he goes, Tom, I bought a handgun, I'm taking a class. I said, really? And he started shooting. He goes, I love it. So then he bought an AR-15 rifle. He's going to a rifle class. And then I was shooting sporting clays. He just, Tom, this is so much fun. And shooting is loud, and people say it's violent, but when you're at a range, especially I do a lot of long range shooting. I took my wife's not a big gun person. I took her out to the range, and my daughter, who's, she's young, kids ADD, all the kids. But once you get behind a rifle and you're trying to be precision, that single point focus, everything calms, everything, and it's extremely relaxing to be in those environments where you're just, it just comes down to such a tiny little bubble that you're focused on, that a lot of people find it very, very much a stress reliever.
Yeah, no, I can see that. And you're saving lives. This is one of those industries truly that you're saving lives. And that's powerful. Innovation, inspiration to innovate this. What came from that? How this, I know you're a musician, but innovation is tough. And people out there, I've got a lot of entrepreneurs out there innovating. What's some tips you can give them?
Well, it's for me, and this is, people always say, they looked at my system and it was really, we didn't know if we'd be laughed at, if they like it. They said, wow, you guys are really thinking outside the box. The reality is we didn't know what the box was. I designed the Secura Tactical weapon storage platform with very little experience about what a weapon rack was. My initial foray into this was based on a freak phone. A guy called me. I had a company, we were selling laptop cabinets, tape racks. This is when the HIPAA laws came out, for all hard drives had to be locked in hospitals. I had a computer supply company, so we sourced all these products, and I had this very popular website, sold a ton of laptop storage cabinets. A guy calls me, he says, can you store an MP5? I'm like, sure. What's an MP5? I figure it's like some little PC or something. He goes, a little submachine gun. I paused, I go, who is this? And he was with the FBI. We talked for about 15 minutes. He said, give me a week. So I did some research, and that's where I uncovered all this reference. This is before Google. This was back when Yahoo was king. But I found these references to the military struggling. I called up the guy who ran the company that made my laptop cabinet, Steve. He and I were very good friends. I said, Steve, got a crazy idea. Weapon racks. He starts laughing. He says, Tom, Canadian government reached out to me about 2 months ago. I'm already working on an idea. So he had a core principle. Then I came in and we worked together to put together our first system, which was the integrated weapon storage platform. We were a dealer. I sold that for several years, and then we won a contract basically to survey all U.S. Army Special Forces armories and give them a report as to why they're failing all their inspections. It was during that 18 months where I spent a day with each armorer, watched the workflow, a lot of photographs, I had a lot of interviews, and I had access and time that a civilian would never get. And it was during that time that the light bulbs went on, and complexity was killing the military. Anybody can solve a problem with a complex solution. The magic of Steve Jobs was taking the complexity of a computer, like an iPad. You bought my first iPad. Where's the directions? We're on, just turn it on. simplicity. So we took, and our patented cradle grid technology is a very simple two-piece system that without tools, on the fly, can store any weapon in a military armory, from a small submachine gun up to shoulder launch rocket systems, in a consumer gun safe, any single, and everything's on the fly, adjustable, no tools. And that's really the core. I use the term Home Depot development. I don't invent things if I don't have to. I hold 6 patents right now. My most recent is actually a medical device. But I look at what's already out there that could be improved or changed. So we use the term Home Depot development. I literally went to Home Depot and walked the aisles and their storage aisles looking for ideas. So our storage solution is the grid wall you see behind me with our upper cradle, our saddle holds the guns. That back grid wall is a standard louvered panel used in auto shops all over the world. It's not proprietary. So what that allows me to do, my patented technology goes on this wall, but then the military can go to Home Depot and buy components that will go on this wall. It's non-proprietary. People would say, oh, no, you want proprietary, you sell more. Well, if that's your goal, my goal is to solve a problem. The problem is the military needs to be in a position to solve their problems. And so Secura, we're a tool. We're Legos. In fact, third Special Forces group calls it the Lego rack. Marine Corps calls it the Tetris rack, because it's a building block system. They start at the bottom and just build whatever they want for that particular weapon rack. They can build it on the fly. It's everybody in their kitchens typically has a junk drawer in your kitchen, that one drawer. And what do you keep in there? You keep like pliers, duct tape, screwdriver. You keep the simplest tools handy. The simplest tools solve the most problems. And that was our whole thing about Cradle Grid was we need to create the simplest tool to solve a problem. And I think we got it. It's never been up. We made a few little tweaks and changes, but the core principle has never changed. And we very quickly went from nothing, a 3-person company, to the primary supplier in the military. We started retail in 2015. We were Inc. Magazine's one of the fastest growing companies in America in 2018 and 2020. So it really, we're looking at another round of growth. We're making changes now in our messaging. We don't spend much on advertising. We never have. We're going to change that. I had a meeting this morning. Said, guys, we're taking the gloves off. The gun safety industry has to change. They're not going to change unless somebody beats them over the head with their own stupidity. And we're going to start that in about 2 weeks and just get out.
Go crazy. I love it. And this is
go crazy.
Yeah, we're coming to the end here.
Okay.
You really taught me a lot about weapons. I really appreciate you. And I hope, audience, you have learned something, because they're not going away. Tomorrow, they're not going to take all the guns away. They're going to be here. So let's make them safe while they're here.
Absolutely.
And that's what Tom's doing. Let's end with a fun little question. So I've got a reservation at a restaurant for you. You've got a table of 4. You're going to sit, of course, in one of the chairs. The other 3 chairs, who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would you invite them to sit down with you? And what food would you order?
Oh, boy. Teddy Roosevelt. Love to get Teddy Roosevelt. I think you got to go back to like Isaac Newton. And then the third person you'd want would be, I'm thinking about the conversation that we'd have. Maybe Jordan Peterson or Elon Musk would be a great one. Again, because I just want to get some amazing minds together I would probably listen, just to be part of, just to watch what we order. It was very simple for me. I'm a carnivore. I eat red meat and water.
There you go.
That's all I've got very bad chronic, arthritis. I've got, tendonitis ended my music career. It never went away. For 35 years, I've dealt with it. And I went pure carnivore, which really changed my life. And then I recently developed a medical device for treating chronic tendonitis, and it absolutely worked. I've cured myself of tendonitis. I'm pain-free. I've not been pain-free in my arms for most of my life. So I've talked to my patent attorney. I'm going to get a patent issued on this, and I'm going to create a video series and market the product and make it very affordable, because the medical industry is wrong. They treat chronic tendonitis the same way they treat acute tendonitis. and it's a different problem caused the tendonitis, and they're treating it wrong. And there's millions of people that are suffering that just don't need to. I think I have something that works. It'll take some time to roll it out, but that's kind of my call that my retirement strategy at some point.
There you go. Yeah. Audience. Yeah. Keep an eye out for that. That's going to be exciting. Stay connected. By the way, connecting, and thank you again for an incredible show. People listening have weapons.
Yep.
One, how can they reach out to you, and how can they get Secura?
It's if you Google the word Secura, SECUREIT, we're all over web, social media. It's securitgunstorage.com. Google my name, and you'll see me all over the place. We got a pretty big. I don't spend a lot of time on. Social media. I do a lot of. I'm shooting a lot of videos right now, just educational pieces. But yeah, we're out there.
There's a servant heart. He mentioned education like 4 times on this podcast on a powerful industry that could really kill people, which it has. Tom, thank you again. Reach out to him. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hey, share this link with somebody. A weapon owner? This is the best podcast I'm saying it, that he's ever done. Of course, I'm not really meaning that, but he did give us so many tips. I've written tips down. If I get a gun, I know what to do to get started. Of course, you want to reach out to Tom to really fulfill everything you need to do to be a good weapon owner. That's a true servant. With that being said, me and Tom want to thank you all so much for watching or listening to this podcast. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.